If y'all haven't checked out yesterday's video, I highly do recommend checking that out because that is going to have the majority of the context of which we're going to be talking about within today's video. I did have to separate these videos because y'all, that video was long. This video is going to be long. We have so much to talk about because there's so many different sides of this story that are coming out. So I do recommend checking that out. I'll go ahead and leave it linked somewhere up on the video, or you guys can just go back on my channel and check that out. Once again, this is an open investigation. This is an ongoing situation. We don't know the full truth of everything, so everything is speculation at this point. Today, we're going to be talking about the responses from Louie Castro, AdamRayOkay, and AdamRayOkay's boyfriend from yesterday's video. Okay, I will give you guys brief context in case you guys don't want to go back to watching that video. However, I do recommend watching it because y'all, there is a large part of that video that is Lucas's story, and I do think that it is very important to watch his story because he does have, you know, some proof within there, and he did talk about him filing a police report as well as going to the emergency room, and actually they ran a, I believe it's called a toxicology report on there, and they did in fact show that there was things in his system that are known as like a roofie. I'm so scared, y'all. The way on YouTube, I'm just like, can I say this? Can I say that? I don't know. And everybody on TikTok now, instead of saying DR for what I'm about to say, they say rugged, you know what I mean? And then instead of the R word, they say grape, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, okay? This is where I feel like things suck because when you're talking about serious topics like this, you should be able to actually say the words, because in my personal opinion, I feel like if I get on the internet and I say grape, you know what I'm saying, like the fruit, I'm kind of like, that is like making a joke of it, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? So this is where I'm like, ugh, I hate that you have to do that, but obviously you have to do that or else YouTube is going to censor your video. Anyway, so giving you guys a little bit of brief context right here in case you guys didn't want to go back to that video right here. There was a situation that went down in West Hollywood. Basically there was a group of influencers that did go to an event, and then afterwards they wanted to go out to WeHo. There was a bunch of other people there, but the main people within this story are AdamRayOkay, Louie Castro, this guy Lucas, and then the boyfriends of AdamRayOkay and Louie, who are Fern and Laro, okay? Now, I want to say within today's video, we are going to kind of be talking a bit about Laro because I'm just keeping it real with you guys from the jump of this video. He looks very shady, and he did, in fact, cheat on AdamRayOkay, and I think that that sucks because I'm keeping it real with you guys. Like, I think that AdamRayOkay, like, I feel like I've never met him, okay? Obviously, I could be so wrong about this, but I just get this sense from him that he's a very sweet person. Like, why do I have goosebumps right now? Y'all know I'm a Pisces, okay? So, like, when it comes down to love, I just be feeling all types of bad, and I feel so bad for him because, I don't know, I get the impression that he's a very, very sweet person, okay? And I'm just like, damn, this is so shady, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. There was rumors, okay? Rumors that he had cheated on Adam before, so I'm just like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just starting to get rubbed the wrong way about this guy, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of bothering me. Anyway, so they ended up going out, okay? And by the way, if you didn't check out that video, within Lucas's video, he did put up some text on the screen to where he was saying that somebody, I don't know who, kept on touching his leg, and he said that he felt uncomfy. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I obviously don't know who it is, but it is my opinion. It's my speculation that it is AdamRayOkay's boyfriend. Okay, that's just my opinion. I could totally be wrong. Okay, that's 100% my opinion, allegedly. Okay, covering my ends over here, but gathering all the evidence, gathering everybody's story, and then what ended up happening at the end of the night, I do think that it was AdamRayOkay's boyfriend. I gotta say this, and I mentioned it within that video, if you guys are watching this, because I know that there's a lot of you know, young people out there that are watching these videos, y'all need to listen to your gut. If you don't feel uncomfortable, or if you don't feel comfortable in a situation, if you feel uncomfortable, leave, okay? Don't go to it, even if you're on the way there, even if you got all dolled up, dressed up, like if you're like, no, something doesn't feel right, like this person's rubbing the wrong way, get out of the situation, you know what I'm saying? Because it is way better to be safe than sorry, because I don't know, there's been several times within my life, I'm like, fuck, why didn't I listen to myself? I'm like, oh, I got ready, but then something's, you know, like not feeling right, and then ends up not right. So please listen to your gut and like follow your intuition, you know, because I do think that it is really important. Anyway, sorry, getting off track here. So they ended up going out, okay? And I guess the whole group had thought this guy, Lucas, was just really tipsy. Turns out, though, that he did have something slipped into his drink, okay? GHB, which is also known as a roofie, okay? So he ended up being very, very inebriated, very drunk, they had thought, but obviously it was the mixture of alcohol mixed with the GHB. And he at first kind of came on to Louie, okay? So when they were out, I guess they were about to be exiting the club. You guys are going to hear Louie's side of the story first within this. You guys are going to see that Louie did say, and he did say this within the messages yesterday. This is why, if you guys watch yesterday's video, this is why I was like, you know what? In my personal opinion, these messages that I read within that, I think there are DMs from Louie and Lucas, because I'm like, okay, listening to Louie's story and then reading those messages, I'm like, okay, it makes sense that it is Louie speaking back to him. Louie did say that this guy Lucas did lean in to kiss him and he was coming on to him. His boyfriend Fern saw this and he like pulled him and was like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is going on right here? Like, why are you trying to come on to my man? You know what I'm saying? And I do have to say, I would do the same thing. I am so sorry. Like, if I saw, somebody that I knew, like, trying to, get at my man, I'm obviously going to get defensive. You know what I'm saying? I think that they got into, like, a little scuffle. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was, like, a full-on brawl. Now, I do have to say this. I 100% believe Louis' side of the story here when it comes down to that whole situation, because I did see two other people that were there at the bar. They were fans of Louis and Adam, and they were like taking videos or whatever, and they did say they did see Lucas come on to Louis, okay? And I do think this is an important part of the story, because I do think this just goes to show you that Lucas was very inebriated and very under the influence, because he was obviously coming on to Louis knowing that he was there with his boyfriend. But obviously, when you are tipsy, you're going to do things out of character. That's just the unfortunate situation, the unfortunate side effects of alcohol, and especially a roofie. You know what I'm saying? So I do have to say it is very unfortunate right there, but this is where the group got split up, okay? So in that moment, you guys are going to see, I'm totally going to butcher this because I don't remember who left with who, but basically at the end of the night, Louis went back to the hotel, or no, I want to say Louis actually like got a ride home from his dad, and then Adam went back with Fern, which is Louis' boyfriend, because they were like obviously beefing, so they were like, okay, like let's separate this to like, calm it down. And I guess AdamRayOkay's boyfriend, Lauro, was in control of Lucas, and he was going to take him back to the hotel to make sure that he got back to his hotel safely, okay? And this is where you guys are going to see, after the fact, I do want to play Louis' side of the story first, because I do think that it does play a major role into it, because it was the start of everything that had happened. You guys are going to see afterwards that there's actually like a clip, which no one put the video out yet. It's just a screenshot of a video, but actually somebody, a fan, actually had a video of AdamRayOkay's boyfriend Lauro making out with Lucas, okay? Letting you guys know that before this. So anyways, I do want to go ahead and start this off by playing... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm missing out a piece of the context here. Duh. So after that had happened, it is now being alleged that someone, okay, I'm going to say someone, but honestly, if you look at like the pieces of the story, it looks like it's AdamRayOkay's boyfriend. It's being alleged from Lucas's end that someone, took advantage of him, okay? So throwing that out there, obviously there's a lot of missing pieces to the story though, and I do have to say this ends up looking very, very, very bad on Lauro, aka AdamRayOkay's boyfriend, because it's kind of like, wait, like you were supposed to take him back to the hotel, make sure that he gets back there safe, and everyone was saying, by the way, that he was actually the most sober out of the whole group, and then you're on video over here making out with him. Obviously, it's going to look shady, because it's like you're cheating on your boyfriend and then you're making out with somebody who is so clearly tore up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it just looks bad in all types of way. I do want to say this though, okay? Okay, and I'm just being honest, and I may get some hate for this, but then obviously you guys are having tunnel vision, not thinking outside of the box here. If this guy Lucas did in fact come on to Louis and try to kiss Louis, we do have to be like real, and we do have to be graceful and say that maybe he did in fact lean in to kiss Lauro too. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously he was inebriated. Obviously he was under the influence and doing things that he wouldn't normally do because he was under the influence, okay? And I'm saying that obviously because I'm like, look, we just got to keep it real, because obviously Louis did in fact say this, and multiple other people did say that this guy Lucas did in fact lean in to kiss Louis. So throwing that out there. Anyways, I do want to go ahead and start this off by playing Louis' side of the story, so go ahead and check it out.
I want to start off by saying that I'm not making this video to take away from what happened to Lucas. And I also want to make it known that I had nothing to do with what happened to Lucas's drink that night. That night, me, Fernando, Adam, and Lauro went to an event together where we seen Lucas. I had met Lucas probably 2 other times before this, so very naturally, I approached him to say hello, have him sit with all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean me along with a bunch of other creators who were also attending this event. As the night went on, we decided we wanted to keep the night going. So everybody started talking about going out after this. Lucas hanging out with us as well. I decided to invite him. During Lucas's video, he talks about feeling very uncomfortable and not wanting to come out with us. But that night, that's not the impression that was given to us at all. And I don't say this to take away from how he said he felt, but I bring this up because if I knew or I felt that he was being standoffish or uncomfortable, I would have told him that there's no problem with him staying back. After him saying yes and saying he wanted to come out with us, he let us know that he was driving somebody else's car, and he asked us to go with him to the hotel that he was staying with this person to drop off their car, which is why I am taken back by him saying that he almost felt like he was pressured or that I lured him to come out with us, because he asked us to go with him to drop off that car to then be able to Uber with us to the club. As we were leaving the event in his car, it was Lucas, Adam, Lauro, me, Fernando, and 2 other people in there. I'd like to make it known that it wasn't just us 4 with Lucas. There was 2 other people who were also coming out with us and were inside of Lucas's car. While we were there in his hotel, he could have called that a night. I wasn't pressuring him or forcing him or saying he had to come out with us or let's continue the night. I remember him saying that he had a flight early morning the next day. So I was in no place to force somebody to come out with us. Regardless of whether he had a flight or not, I was not being pushy about him coming out with us. I was under the impression that he wanted to come out with us and he wanted to continue the night. On our way to WeHo, I did tell him, please hold on to your phone and hold on to your wallet. I told him to not put any of his belongings in his back pocket, as I've gotten my phone and my wallet stolen there multiple times. I was letting him know because I didn't want him to go through the same thing. I also have a lot of friends who have had their belongings stolen. During this whole conversation, my intention wasn't to scare Lucas about where we were going. It was more to just have him be aware of his belongings, as I didn't want him to misplace it or get it stolen. On the way there, he actually gave me his wallet and asked me to hold it for him, which I said yes. I was already holding my boyfriend's wallet and Lucas's wallet in my bag because I don't feel like having it in our pockets was going to be the safest thing to do. We had quite a few shots at the bar. I believe I bought maybe 4 rounds of shots for everybody that was there with us. While we were buying shots, none of the shots that were being purchased and handed out were intentionally passed out to anybody in particular. At least from the shots that I bought, every time I purchased them, I would hand them out like this. Pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. I didn't know who was going to or what was happening. I would just pass it on. It wasn't an intentional, here's your shot, here's your shot, here's your shot. And after being there at the club for maybe an hour, we all decided that it was time to call it a night, which is when we all headed out of the club. When we were heading out of the club, we all had quite a few drinks in us, especially after taking shots back to back to back. I imagined that they hit all of us pretty hard. So when we were heading out of the club, we were going to call our Ubers when Lucas tried to come on to me to kiss me. When Lucas tried to kiss me, with my partner being there, my partner saw and immediately confronted Lucas about it in a very angry manner, as I believe any other partner would. In that moment, I was so shocked that Lucas tried to kiss me because I didn't see it coming. When my boyfriend confronted him, it turned angry on both ends very quickly and they began to fight. I almost don't even want to use the word fight because there wasn't much of a fight. It was more of my boyfriend confronting Lucas. I believe my boyfriend pulled his shirt and that's about all my boyfriend got to Lucas. Lucas ends up pushing both me and my boyfriend to the ground twice. And I'm going to show some of the pictures from that night and what me and my boyfriend had because of that fight. My boyfriend is not an aggressive person. So in that moment, I kind of panicked and didn't want something bigger to occur, especially this not being something that I have to deal with on a regular with my partner. But after seeing what he had just seen, I could only imagine the frustration that he was feeling in that moment as somebody who we had just spent the whole night with tried to come on to me. Adam grabbed Fernando and took Fernando to separate him, and Lauro grabbed Lucas, and everybody left and left me there alone. During that fight, I lost my phone, and when everybody was separated, I came back to where the fight had happened to grab what I believed was my phone. My phone, or at least what I believed was my phone, was completely shattered, and I couldn't turn it on. I couldn't make a phone call. I didn't know where to head to. Somebody came across me and ended up taking me home. I have no idea who this person was, and I am just thankful that they approached me to take me home. In that moment, I didn't understand why I was left alone. And I felt so lost since I didn't have my phone. I didn't have a way to reach anybody or communicate with anybody. And as I was being driven home, this guy lent me his phone to be able to call my dad. And that is how I made it home. The next morning after all of this happened, I woke up and immediately realized that the phone that I had wasn't my phone. So I made a phone call through my desktop to reach my boyfriend. And that was my main concern. My relationship with my partner after what he had just seen was my main concern. Up until that whole day after everything happened, I had no idea that something had happened to Lucas's drink. I was still under the impression that Lucas just had too many drinks and made a mistake. I called my boyfriend to come home, and I spent that whole day arguing and having a conversation with my partner about everything that had happened. I did notice later that night that Lucas had sent me a message, and this was after I had to go purchase a new phone because I lost my phone. I didn't have my phone to be able to reach out to Lucas. And 2, when I did see a message from Lucas, and me still thinking that Lucas just got really drunk that night, I didn't want to open it because I simply thought it was going to be an apology for having too many drinks and trying to kiss me. I was focused on my relationship and did not want to talk to somebody who had just caused an argument and caused my boyfriend to fight over what he had just seen. The following day is when I saw Lucas's video explaining what had happened to his drink. From that day on, up until yesterday, before he posted his video, I have been in communications with Lucas the whole time because I now had an understanding that this wasn't him just having too many drinks and making a mistake. There was more to the story. When Lucas found out about that video with him and Lauro, that is when me and Adam and Fernando found out about that video. We had no idea of this happening, and we were all just as shocked as Lucas when we seen this video. And I tried to comfort Adam, but was in such shock myself because none of us knew about this happening between Lucas and Lauro. I don't want to speak on both their ends on what happened because I wasn't there anymore. Since Lucas opened up to us about what was found in the system, Even my partner and I realized that it wasn't something that he intentionally wanted to do. And I've let Lucas know this, that it's not something that we are holding against him, as we know that there's way more to what caused him to do that. And regardless of all of this that has happened between me and Lucas, I still hope and pray that he is able to find out and figure out what happened to his drink that night, because this is something that none of us saw coming, and I myself was under the impression that he just had too many drinks. But I wanted to make it known, again, that I had nothing to do with what happened to Lucas's drink.
So there y'all heard from right there, Louie' side of the story. Sorry that I had to speed it up because obviously it is a very, very long clip. I have to say this, low-key, and I've said it before like years ago on my channel, but I'm so over it now. Before I didn't really like Louie. I don't know why, for some reason he was just one of those people as well too. I'm like, you're kind of annoying. But I do gotta say, and I'm keeping it real, I'm always gonna keep it real, I really do believe him. I think that his side of the story actually makes complete sense, and I think that it is obviously a very unfortunate situation, and I do think that it sucks that he obviously felt the need within that moment to be like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out what's up with my partner, because obviously he's very mad right now. Because you guys do have to picture this, when you're walking outside of the bar, and you see, you know, your boyfriend talking to this guy, and then it looks like they're like leaning in, you know what I mean? Like obviously it's gonna make Louie look bad too. So I think within that moment, obviously trying to break up the fight and everything like that, it's just like a very unfortunate situation to where they're like, oh shit, like we gotta break this up, we gotta leave. And obviously in Louie's mind, he's going to be thinking about his partner like, oh shit, like is he gonna break up with me? Did he think that I was coming on to him? Did he think that I was cheating on him? Like there's obviously so many things going through his brain. So I do gotta say, I feel like he is being very truthful within everything, and I feel like his story really does make sense in my personal opinion. Now, I do want to go ahead and get into AdamRayOkay's part of this story. Y'all, you know what? Actually, I'm going to play AdamRayOkay's last. I do want to go ahead and get into his boyfriend side of the story first, because a lot of fingers are being pointed at him right now. And I do have to say that he does look very shady, because obviously he did in fact cheat on AdamRayOkay. And obviously there is this video out there to where he was making out with Lucas. I don't know what happened after this, because I hate to get this deep up on my channel, y'all. Honestly, like I hate talking about things like this because I just feel like it's just so dark, you know, but it is obviously pertaining to the story. I don't know what happened after that, okay? There's obviously, you know, somebody who, they didn't make this clip public, which I really, really do appreciate, because I think that it's messed up. They sent it specifically to Lucas, and I think they sent it to AdamRayOkay, showing that Lauro did kiss Lucas, you know, or they kiss each other. I don't know what happened after that though, because, you know, obviously everyone within the group had said, okay, Lauro ended up taking Lucas back to the hotel, and then that's where he stayed talking to somebody there for a couple hours. So I don't know where the whole, you know, SA allegations had came in. I don't know exactly what that entails. So I'm letting you guys know that I don't know. Those are just heavy speculations as to who it is, what it was, what went down, where it went down. You know what I'm saying? So then you guys know, obviously take everything with a grain of salt, because not every single detail is out there as of right now, because this is an open investigation, because Lucas did file a police report about this whole entire situation. So I am going to play Lauro's video right now, and I'm so sorry, but please pay attention to his wording at the end of his video, because I was like, why would you say that? And I'll go over it, okay? Maybe I'm reading too far into it, but I'm just like, I don't know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Check it out.
Hey, I just wanted to say that all the stuff that everyone is saying is not true. I didn't put anything in anyone's drink. I didn't essay anyone. I didn't grape anyone. I didn't do any of those things. All I did that night from that person's video was try to help him. That's all I did. All I did was try to get him from point A to point B, because I saw that he was in a very tough situation. He didn't have his phone. He didn't have his wallet. He didn't have any way of communicating with anyone. Finding out all the information that he's been putting out these past few days. Obviously, somebody put something in his drink, and I hate to say this, and I don't even think my family knows about this situation, but I know exactly the feeling of getting drugged and getting taken advantage of. And I promise to this person that I would have never taken advantage of him, especially under that influence. I had no idea that that was the state that he was in during this whole ordeal. We end up kind of like all separating. Aaron goes with Adam, then Louie just leaves. We end up sitting like on the side of where kind of like the altercation happened. We just scooted down a little bit and we sat on like a railing. But then I don't know what possessed me to go along with it. I just went along with it. It was eating me alive, and I didn't even know how to tell Adam. I just felt like I betrayed him and the person as well. That's the one thing that I will say that I actually did, and everything else are accusations that are not true. I do apologize that you went to a place that I really didn't know that you weren't comfortable going. I would have probably encouraged for you not to go if I knew that you were skeptical, but I really, really hope that you find justice in finding out who did that to you. I really do hope that they get what they deserve. And I really do hope that you recover from all the trauma that all of this may have caused you.
So there y'all heard AdamRayOkay's boyfriend side of the story, and I gotta say, maybe I am reading too far into this, but it really, really rubbed me the wrong way when he said, I would never take advantage of him, especially under that influence. Why would you say that? Like, I understand maybe he's very distraught right now because I do think like they're breaking up, or AdamRayOkay broke up with him because he did actually delete all of his TikToks with him and he did unfollow him. So I think things are obviously, you know, very like convoluted in his brain right now. But to specifically say I wouldn't take advantage of him, especially under that influence, it really kind of rubbed me the wrong way, y'all. And I get it. Hey, I have put my foot in my mouth. I have said some shit before that I'm like, I didn't mean to say it like that. I really have. However, that, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too far into it. Y'all can let me know. Keep it real with me. But I was like, why would you say especially under that influence? Like, especially like that, or especially, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why would you say that? It just rubbed me the wrong way. Anyways, I do want to say this, y'all. I feel so bad for Lucas. I feel so bad for Adam because I feel like within this whole entire scenario, them two are the ones who paid the biggest cost because poor Adam over here is finding out that his man cheated on him. And like I had said, I had heard rumors before, but I never saw any like factual proof, just like little T pages of saying like, oh, he did this or did that or whatever. But now there's, you know, actual proof that he did in fact, you know, cheat on Adam, and I think that that's really fucked up. Like, I'm just like, oh my god, Adam seems like such a sweet person. I'm like, oh, it makes me so sad. Also, too, everybody, okay, and this is allegedly, okay, everybody was saying that like Lauro was, you know, like the most sober, and I think obviously out of anybody, Adam is going to know his man the most. So I feel like he would know like, oh, he wasn't really that tipsy, you know what I mean? Because obviously, yes, I do feel like Lauro is gonna be like, oh no, like blaming it on the alcohol type of thing. But I'm like, if everyone's saying that he was the most sober of the group, I do think that he was, obviously aware of the situation and what was going down with him and Lucas. I do want to go ahead and play one last clip within this video, and that is AdamRayOkay's version of the story and talking about this. So go ahead and check it out.
I just want to preface this conversation by saying that I would never in my entire existence do or be a part of the drug or spike of somebody else's drink in the club. I would also like to say that anybody in my circle, anybody I consider a friend, wouldn't be okay with the idea or the action of that either. I just want to tell the story of where I feel like I come in, and that was leaving the club after we all had quite a lot to drink. As we were waiting outside of the club, getting ready to go, there was an altercation between Lucas and Fern after Fern said that he saw Lucas coming onto Louie and was kissing him. I was trying my best to de-escalate the situation and separate everybody, so I decided to take Fern to my home and have Lauro stay with Louie and Lucas to make sure that they got home safe. After I had left, Louie ended up walking away and getting a ride home with somebody else, which is how Lauro and Lucas ended up being together. The same way that Lucas found out about the video of him and Lauro is the exact same way me, Louie, and Fern found out about it too. Hence why my story was what it was the entire time. I had no idea that had happened up until he showed me that video. In my original story to Lucas, I mentioned that I would be more than happy to speak to anybody that I needed to speak to in order to make the situation right and for him to get justice. And I still stand on that.
So there y'all heard his side of the story right there. And obviously all of these people that were involved in the group are, like very distraught over here because now a lot of people on the internet are looking at them like, oh my God, did they, spike somebody's drink and put something in there? I think that it's unfortunate that everybody has to, speak out about this. This is why within yesterday's video, I was telling you guys, like, I definitely, if I were Lucas, I would be a little bit more open-minded about the situation and specifically know that this has happened many times within WeHo. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, definitely somebody within the group, 100%, they could have obviously put something within his drink, but I think that there also is a high chance too that it could have been somebody from whatever bars or clubs that they went to. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling y'all, all you have to do is Google WeHo and, Roofie, and you guys are going to see so many different news articles of situations that have happened there. And it's getting really out of hand and very dangerous over there. I could totally be wrong. Obviously, I do not know these people, never met any of them. I just really get the impression from Louie and from Adam, I don't know, they seem like they're like good people, and I don't think that they would slip something into somebody's drink. You know what I mean? I do have to say at the end of all this situation, I'm side-eyeing Lauro because one, I feel like Adam seems like such a sweet, good person. You know what I mean? And I think that it sucks. Even if, let's just go ahead and say that he didn't slip anything in Lucas's drink, let's just go ahead and say that he didn't SA him, all of these things, he did still cheat on Adam. And that's where I'm just kind of like, It just makes me so mad. You know what I mean? Because they've been together for quite some time now. I want to say they've been together for like what, 5 years now, and it's just really unfortunate. You know what I mean? And I think that it's so shitty for Adam to have to find out this way. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, oh my gosh, like Lucas was over here, something was slipped into his drink. He obviously had to go to the hospital over this, and then he's gonna end up seeing a clip of Lucas and Laro making out. Like that is just it, such a shitty way to find out. But I really do hope the best for Lucas within this situation. I hope that he finds out whoever did this. I do hope that he's like, you know, I don't know. I don't know exactly how this would go down, but I do hope that there's like an investigator that is hired to specifically look at the bars and to look at the footage, because there are so many cameras within these establishments that I really do hope that if is, you know, somebody at the bar, or even if like it's picked up on camera that it was in fact somebody within the group, I hope that somebody is held accountable for this, because this is a very, very dangerous thing. And like I said, I feel like if people are not going to be like held accountable for this, I think it's only going to get worse, because specifically in WeHo, I have like really started to see this shit is happening a lot, and it could get very dangerous. And honestly, like, not to get all like, you know, dark about this, but like somebody could end up like ODing on it and actually passing away. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's very, very scary, and they need to figure it out. And I hope that Lucas, you know, gets justice within the situation. I probably will make another follow-up video to this, because I think as of right now, being that everything is, you know, speculation and everything is being a little bit vague right now, because obviously there is an ongoing investigation about this. We don't know the exact truth of everything. I do gotta say this though, Lotto, I hope Adam like really realizes no, he can do much better without him, because that is so damn shady. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that is so messed up. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.